Hello, tonight our video is on math properties. Pause your video and copy down the commutative properties. The commutative property of addition and the commutative property of multiplication. Alright, thank you for pausing the video and writing your notes. Now, commutative property, as you wrote down, says that when you're adding or multiplying two or more numbers or terms together, the order is not important. However, what if we tried doing this with subtraction? Let's say that we had 8 minus 4, okay, and that's equal to 4. Well, if I reverse the order, will it make a difference? In other words, can I go 4 minus 8? And the answer is yes, it does make a difference. You get a different answer. You get negative 4. So subtraction is not commutative. The order does matter. Same with division. If I go 8 divided by 4, I get 2. But if I try to do 4 divided by 8, I get 1/2, or 0.5. So subtraction and division are not commutative. Next we have the associative properties, and this is the associative property of addition. And all of that's saying is that when you're doing nothing but adding, you can group the terms or the numbers any way you'd like, and it won't make a difference. The associative property of multiplication works the same way. When you're multiplying three or more numbers, the grouping is not important. However, just like commutative property does not apply to subtraction and division, neither does the associative property. So you can see in our examples, if we tried changing the grouping of 5 minus 2 minus 3 and regrouped it as 5 minus in parentheses 2 minus 3, that will make a difference. You'll get a different answer. Same with division. All right, next we have the identity properties. We have one for addition and one for multiplication. And we use these a lot in solving equations. Identity property of addition simply says if you add 0 to a number, it's not going to change. And that makes sense. If you add 0 to something, it's going to stay the same. And identity property of multiplication says that if you multiply any number or any term by the number 1, it's also not going to change. All right, finally we have the inverse properties. We have additive inverse property and multiplicative inverse property. All right, the additive inverse property just tells us that if you take a number and you add its opposite, that you're going to get 0. And I think we understand that. That makes sense, right? 3 plus a negative 3, that would give you 0. Negative 5 plus positive 5, that also will give you 0. So anytime you add numbers that are exact opposites of each other, you'll always end up at 0, because both numbers are the same distance away from 0, but on opposite sides of 0. The multiplicative inverse, we use this all the time. Multiplying a number by its reciprocal, you'll always get the number 1. So that's what that's telling us, multiplicative inverse. Any number, doesn't matter what it is, any term, if you multiply it by its reciprocal, you end up with the number 1. All right, that's all for our notes tonight. Thanks for listening and taking those notes. Remember, read some books.